another summer day. Caught a vibe from across the way. Yeah, it's just another summer day.
Struggling with bad credit, or are you stressed about taxes? New Freedom Financial Service can help you restore your credit, file your taxes, and take control of your money. Call today. Your financial freedom starts now.
You don't have a software, tool, or subscription problem. You have a communication problem. Some of you are paying hundreds of dollars a month for tools that don't talk to each other. This creates what is called a ghost in the machine, an invisible clog that prevents data from working on your behalf. When your software doesn't communicate, you become the integration, the plug, if you will. You are effectively paying to be a data entry clerk in your own business. Join me for an elite workshop, The Ghost in the Machine. No, this is not a software demo. This is an architectural strategy session. We're going to whiteboard your entire tech stack, from lead capture to fulfillment, and expose exactly where your system is dying. Don't have a tech stack or know what that is? If you're in business for yourself in 2026, you need to. So I know I'll see you there. Together, we'll identify the manual tasks clogging your system and replace them with silent solutions. You don't need more apps, you need architecture. Click the link to secure your briefing. It's time to connect the dots. I've worked too hard to stop now. But it seems like every time I turn around, it's somebody hating. I need to ride. Yo, yeah.
Rest in peace,
Yo, man, this one goes out to everybody out there getting it on there.
And every other soul.
However you getting paid, how you paying your bills, hopefully it's legit. You know what I'm saying? But even if it ain't, do the best you can, you know what I'm saying? And get it on your own. Yeah, West Coast, slow motion. Waking up the morning views of the ocean, freshen up your swag, roll up your neck back, 40 on your hip, dip to the west side. Between the trees and the breeze is where you reside. You let the 6-4 dip slow, side to side. The good life, no longer stressing on that hood stripe. Your kids bless, you can't fetch, they doing all right. On top of that, today you rhyme with your lady. Yep, that's your baby, play with her, they must be crazy. Had the hood going crazy when them shop doors open. Cuts in the city, that's what you been promoting. And plus it's clear to see that every real G is positive to the community. Productivity, that's the slogan. Pushing back on the force is trying to stop us from growing. They can't hold you back. When the door of opportunity opens up for you like a Cadillac, you ain't having that, you came too far to try and travel back. And plus that's way too whack. So when the plans stay rolling and the dope keep floating while your life unfolding, then you keep going. Never mind the haters, can't make or break you. Where the hustle take you when your faith don't forsake you. Yeah, it feels good when you getting it on your own. Pushing fly wheels, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you're walking on your own and turn BS to bread when life ends you stones. It feels good when you getting it on your own. Pushing fly wheels, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you walking on your own and turn BS to bread when life ends you stones. But don't expect it to be easy breezy. Size being cheesy, it's slightly greasy like an Eskimo. Trying to sell your bro that though he love the pole, his ass still ain't free. The truth is you take the good with the bad. If it's worth it, then on purpose, it ain't easy to be had. But don't let it stop you, unless they pop you. Then you gotta know the wind's already in the bag. It takes thick skin to walk amongst men that don't comprehend the grind that you're living in. Unfortunately, it usually proves to be negativity from friends and your family. But when you focus, you can't get caught slipping. You cool ranch while you dipping. Fly with eagles, not chickens. And you bound to see between you and me that there's no enemies. And yes, success is proof. Me, I'm still noodle flowing in the booth. If you need more proof, go and check me mirror. Cause it couldn't be clearer that you're bound for the top. So stay on your grind and don't you dare ever stop it. When the roadblocks, act like mad cops. It only means you're just a mirror, homie, just watch. Ain't no need to be silent when you're made of iron. And for winners like you, there's no such thing as trying. It feels good when you're getting it on your own. Pushing fly wheels, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you're walking on your own and turn BS to bread when life gives you stones. It feels good when you're getting it on your own. Pushing fly wheels, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you're walking on your own and turn BS to bread when life gives you stones. And there you have it. You know what I'm saying? This goes out to everybody out there getting it on their own. Like I said, you over there, feel me? The fade, all the barbershops, hair salons, nail salons, massage parlors, dentist office, you feel me? Soul food restaurants, whatever you do, man. You work for yourself, it's your anthem right here, man. It's my salute.
I see you
Get it on your own. And if you employ other people, you're a real life hero. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Yeah. Keep getting it on your own.
Omni Beats.
Over. Yeah, we back. Back in the building. Shout out to everybody tuning in right now. Big special thanks and shout out goes to my brother in the chat, Smashing Idol. Appreciate you being here, bro. You've been here probably since like the first or second live stream I ever did on my channel, so I appreciate it, man. As soon as it get big enough, you definitely got to be the first or the second moderator, because I got somebody else that I already made a moderator, but you definitely got to be the second one as soon as we get the chat popping. So anybody that tuned in, man, definitely feel free to drop your questions and comments into the chat. I like to engage with people. I don't want this to be the type of channel where I just get up here and talk and present information. So yeah, shoot some stuff at me on the topic. Let's make it cool and interactive. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, I want to actually start inviting people up to discuss different topics with me. So I'm trying to get the channel growth up. And then once we get enough viewers in the building, when we go live, we're going to start doing some more interactive type, workshop type, productive type things on Legit Hustle, man. 'Cause that's what I'm about over here. You feel me? Special shout out also goes to my friend and client who I made sponsor for this show's event, Yvette Nelson over at New Freedom Financial in Albany, Georgia. That was her promotion, her ad that you saw run at the beginning. If you are in business for yourself, or even if you're not, and you need to get back on track financially, you need some help getting some credit restoration done, clearing up some negative things on your background financially, I recommend them, not just because they're my clients and I've also been clients of theirs in the past also, but because they're good people and they do a good job over there. So I highly, highly recommend them. That's Miss Yvette Nelson at New Freedom Financial in Albany, Georgia. I try to get it set up so I can run it live again so everybody can see it and get her information. And she's also doing taxes, tax preparation and returns this year as well. So if you need some help with that, check it out. And there's also a link to her site in the description of the video as well. All right. So over the weekend, I did a live stream about one-person companies and why that was the small business model, not of the future, but of the now, and why we all needed to at least know something about it, learn the pros and cons of it, adapt it, use it, pattern our businesses after it, whatever the case may be. But I also want to make sure that anyone who tunes into my channel gets a good, thorough understanding of where the concepts that I discuss on Legit Hustle come from. So, my apologies. It says Legit Motivation on the screen. I changed that and say section. It's actually second. This is actually for the SMP Podcast. So this is a topic more specifically for business owners, entrepreneurs, content creators, people who get it on their own, I guess that's the theme song for my channel now. My song, Get It On Your Own. That was actually I think the second ever rap song I ever recorded in my life. And I recorded that video probably about 4 years ago now. So this plan for this channel has been in the works for a long time. I just necessarily didn't have the time and the resources to necessarily put behind growing the channel like I wanted to. But now I do. You know what I'm saying? Things are moving in a positive direction for my family, for my businesses. So yeah, man, I'm investing it into the channel, trying to bring some premium content to you guys and make sure that the information that you get over here at Legit Hustle is always official. It's always legitimate. All right. So in harmony with the topic over the weekend, what I decided to do was develop a series based on exponential organizations, because I mentioned that several times in previous live streams. So what I wanted to do is make sure that if you tune into my channel, you have a thorough inner and under and understanding of exactly what an exponential organization is. Oh, you said thought I've been doing music? Nah, man. I actually I've written music, before in the past, but I had never recorded anything prior to that song and another song that I recorded. And I mostly wrote poetry over the years, but I love music, man. And I learned music just like that. And I played in jazz band growing up. So yeah, man, when it came time to promote like some books and things that I had written and different business ventures I had going on, I decided to use music. And it started off just as fun, you know what I'm saying? And just as a cool way to promote my business or whatever. But I had fun, man, and it became therapeutic. And so songs like Hood Angels and Victory and all that, all those songs came about over the last 3 or 4 years since then. So I don't actually record a lot, but if I feel like I got something to say and I want to say it that kind of way that you can only say in hip hop, you know what I'm saying? You can be a little gangster with it. You can be a little rough with it. And sometimes, man, the world we live in, everything don't need to get said gently. You know what I'm saying? So I try to stay positive with the music, but sometimes I feel like I need to say a little something. So it's kind of like my therapy, man, and my outlet. So that's what I do it for, Smash. But yeah, man, glad you appreciate it. Like I said, I know I'm an amateur rapper and a terrible YouTuber, so I appreciate the compliment, man. So this is gonna be the very first episode in the series on exponential organizations, right? So this is about a 0 employee business or company. Building power, scaling, growing, being profitable without needing to hire employees, teams, contractors, right? This is for business owners who want growth, but not necessarily size, weight, right? Whenever you take on employees or whenever you start contracting out jobs as a business owner, there's a certain responsibility that comes with it, or in my opinion, should come with it, because every time you offer someone an opportunity to make money with you, that person is entrusting their financial well-being in your ability to come through on your end, and vice versa, right? That's what it's all about. So one of the challenges, however, that we face is how do you actually grow a business without doing that, or scaling a company without doing that, because we're human. There's only so much time, there's only so much energy, there's only so much of ourselves to go around. We end up wearing so many hats or becoming a jack of all trades that we never actually master anything, or we never actually be able to see our company, our vision grow and scale to the thing that it potentially could be, right? So how do we actually go about building a profitable, scalable company built around just one person and make it what's called an exponential organization? That's what we're gonna talk about today, y'all. So let's get into it. I hope y'all enjoying the music. I hope it's not too loud, not too soft. If you want me to turn it up, let me know. I can't really hear it with my earbuds. I got it turned down low. So if you like the music, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. I can't really hear it. I did it for you guys, man. Try to make the program a little bit more enjoyable for you. So, all right, so let's get into it. We're gonna break this down into several acts, like a story. And this is the story of the typical entrepreneur, the typical business owner who gets to that place where you wanna grow. You need to grow, right? You're looking at the numbers, you're looking at the spreadsheet. You might see a big number because you got a lot of people that you need to pay. Or you may see a number, let's say profit or revenue, and think, man, I could do more if I had some people to pay, right? You're doing it all. You're sending out invoices. You're making the phone calls. You're conducting the consultations. You're conducting the sales calls. You're doing the follow-up, right? When it's just you, that's typically what we envision in our mind. We don't envision running a company on our own as something that actually gives us freedom. But a lot of that is because of the business model and the mindset that was very true at one point in time, but because of the modern tech capabilities that we have are not necessarily true anymore. And so it could be possible that you or I could find ourselves caught in this payroll trap, because now you have this responsibility of taking care of your employee, your team. At least you should care anyway, right? If you're a decent business owner, you care about the people that work with you or that work for you, right? But that responsibility can also feel like a trap, especially when you need to grow or you need to scale. And this is the part about being an entrepreneur or being a business owner that isn't the glorious side. It's not the part that gets shown in the movies, right? But even more so of a problem is the formula that we use. Again, over the weekend in the presentation on one-person companies, I brought up how there was a time when, in order to generate millions of dollars in revenue, you needed huge infrastructure. You probably needed a factory if it was during the industrial age, right? You needed suppliers. You needed a huge labor force because so much of the economy was built on labor and labor-intensive industries like manufacturing. So growth in that economy was very dependent on the ability to hire. So that contributes to, at this point, what is an illusion, but to some of us, it's the very real idea that expansion requires adding employees, adding staff, even adding facilities. Some people feel like that if you don't have a staff, you're not a legitimate company. How are you a business owner if it's just you? That's more like being self-employed, right? How are you running a company? How are you the CEO of a company, but it's just you? Not saying it's not possible, but based on the old world principles of business, based on the old way that we knew things worked when it came to running successful companies, that was part of the assumption, was that staff, having employees, gave you legitimacy as a business, even to the customers, right? And there's probably a whole psychological conversation we can have about that, but we ain't got to necessarily go that deep in it. But that's part of the image, let's say, that a lot of us have probably had in our head for a very long time about what running a highly profitable, high revenue generating company actually looks like. And that was the old way, right? Where how big your staff was, how big the empire was, so to speak, was largely down to how many people were dependent on you for a paycheck. I appreciate it, Smash. So that was a business model that was built for and worked well in a different era, right? Let me make sure y'all can hear me good. I hope my mic's up good. All right, I'm just checking. So that was a different era, different business model, different times. If we try to continue to apply that model to doing business for ourselves in 2026, we're going to run into that trap, that problem of the employee trap. What if you hire them too early? If your model of growth and scale is built upon having a staff and a team of people to do things, when do you hire them? Where do the resources come from? Are they going to be on a fixed pay scale, or are they going to be on something that's more like a performance-based commission? What about taxes? Insurance? All these things come with just considering hiring people. And for some of us, again, if we're still thinking about the business model of the old era, then we may fall into that trap of thinking that our growth and our ability to scale our company is related to how many people we have attached to it. And that's not the case anymore. We're going to get into that a little bit. But what if you don't hire anyone? How do you grow and scale a company if you don't hire people? How do you take on more orders? How do you take on more clients? How do you output more production if you don't have people to help you? Again, it's a model issue. It's a what business model are you applying to your company? Again, if you're basing it on the way things used to be, then you're probably going to burn yourself out or go bankrupt trying to do the impossible. Trying to build a million or multi-million-dollar company by yourself. Unless you know a cheat code, right? Unless you know how to go about doing that the modern way. What do companies do in 2026? And how can you implement that into your business? But you got to know the model. What's the model? Well, first of all, let's dissect the old system. In the old system, we had these outdated, they weren't outdated at the time, but now they're outdated concepts about success. The size of the building, the number of employees, the size of the board, hell, having a board. How can you be the CEO if it's just you? You don't even have a board to talk to, right? All of that was part of the old operating system, the old model. But that's changed. Think about it. If I won't even tell you theoretically. I'll tell you realistically. When I tell people that I'm the CEO of a corporation, of a tech company, it's hard for people to conceive, because if you look at my surroundings, you don't see tech company. You just see a dude that works from home, right? There's no big office to go to. I don't have a staff. I don't have a team of people. I don't have some social media person following me around, videographing or whatever you call it, my whole damn life and shit for the world so I can have social media content. Nah. But because of the way I structured my company, that's actually the position I hold in this company. But to most people, in order to be a CEO, you got to have an office, some big office, skyscraper looking thing like you've seen on your favorite movie, Wolf of Wall Street, Boiler Room. You know, you got to have a full-time staff. You got to have somebody to bring you coffee and donuts and shit, In order to be CEO, you got to have all that. And you got to have a Ferrari. You can't be a CEO if you don't have a Ferrari, right? You got to have an HR department. You got to have a huge Blue Cross Blue Shield medical plan for your employees. That's the myth that we have conjured up in our heads. That is the myth that has been created about what it is to be the CEO of a company. And a lot of that is because of the traditional, the old school way of business and industry being ran. Remember, in years prior, to be $1 million, multi-million dollar, even $1 billion, especially $1 billion company, you had to have an enormous staff, buildings, multiple locations, warehouses, factories, distribution, huge marketing budget probably, right? That was what CEOs looked like back then. But that's that model. That's that way. Modern CEOs, we don't have a permanent payroll. We don't have some huge staff overhead or huge location expense for an office. Hopefully here in the next few months, I will be moving into a better office, a more suitable office for the company. But it's not because it's necessary necessarily. Everything that I do, that my company does, all the functions that I need to perform, I can do at the library on a laptop. I can do from home, right? So there's no need for per se for me to have some huge office space. I don't have to have a huge staff. I don't have to have a full-time staff. Now, for the sake of my personal business plan, these things are included, but they're not necessary. They don't make me not function as the CEO. They do not make my company legitimate. That's the old way of doing business. That's not the era we live in anymore, right? And we should be used to it at this point. We've seen this. Think about tech CEOs, even the big name ones that you know of. They're not traditional CEOs. Most of them don't wear suits a lot. They tend to be regular, average Joe looking type of dudes, not very flashy, right? But that's because we're in a different time. There's a different type of person. There's a different business model that allows the person who maybe doesn't, I don't want to wear suits. I've had those types of things in my life and businesses where I had to dress that way every day. It was cool back then. I don't want to do it now. I like getting dressed how I want to dress this particular day or that particular day. I like being myself. I like moving at my own space, at my own pace, right? I like having complete control over my day and how my day goes, how my week goes, for the most part, right? But none of that requires me to do most of the things that people traditionally think of as being required to run successful, highly profitable companies. Not just for me, the same can be true for you. The same may be true for you. You may be already functioning as a solopreneur. You may already be doing the types of things that this series is going to get into later already. But if you're not, this is to lay the foundation to let you know it's not so different from what you think of as a company. It's just the capability that we have to function solo on our own, as solopreneurs, as the term has been coined, is one that we can legitimately compete with much larger companies. much larger agencies. We also have another very distinct advantage, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get into it later on in this presentation. I can't remember if I included it here. But one thing about being a small company that generates good revenue is your ability to pivot, your ability to move, your ability to switch lanes, as it were. Did the stream end?